Hey guys, it's Bassima. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a productivity coach, and in today's video I want to share with you how I went from level 0 to level 1 on Fiverr. So if you're new to Fiverr and don't know what it is yet, it's an online marketplace where freelancers can actually offer services and get paid for them. So if you're considering getting started on freelancing, I think it's a really super user-friendly way to get started. I'm going to be sharing with you why I actually made an account on Fiverr, what I hope to get out of it, and then how I actually went from level 0, meaning making my first gig, to reaching level 1 within a matter of months and not really knowing how Fiverr worked anyways. Lastly, some key things to know if you want to maintain your level on Fiverr and not get demoted. These are things that I actually learned pretty recently through trial and error, and that I think are super important to know if you want to continue to grow on Fiverr and continue to make more income on the platform. If you like this video, then hit that like and subscribe button down below, and let's get right into how to get to level 1 on Fiverr. I originally joined Fiverr because I consider myself a super multi-passionate, like I know many of us are, and I was hoping to use the platform to find a way to test out my many different interests and see which one I liked and which one I wanted to potentially do more long term. So I think this is super great for someone who's feeling super confused and stuck and feels like they have so many different interests and so many different skills that they could potentially be proficient at and don't know where to get started. Fiverr is a really great way to test them out and get some practical experience with clients and see if you do really enjoy this thing and it's something that you would want to pursue and make income from longer term. As long as you're being super honest with the client as to what it is that you can deliver, also pricing your gig relatively fairly with respect to what it is that you can deliver, then I think it's super awesome to get started on the platform. I also wanted to join Fiverr because I wanted to offer something that was lower ticket, lower commitment, and that I'd still enjoy and make money from. So it was a great extra source of income for me. Right now, if you're considering joining Fiverr but you're feeling like you don't know what it is that you want to offer, what I did at the beginning before joining Fiverr is I saw what is it that I could potentially be interested in. And I just spent the first few days exploring the website, going through and seeing what are all the different gigs, and as soon as you click on one, you'll be recommended to many different other ones. And what I realized is that there was so many cool different positions that I could potentially offer that I hadn't even thought of if I wasn't exploring the website, seeing all the different gigs that are on the site right now. I'm going to take you to my computer right now and show you what are the requirements for you to actually make that shift from level 0 to level 1. As you can see, I logged into my Fiverr account and I'm currently online, and you can see right here that I'm currently considered as level 1. So this is my gig at the moment. I'm offering some productivity, time, and energy management coaching. What I want to dive into is first the requirements. So you can find that by going into your analytics and then going over here. So this is your starting point, and then these are the levels that you can hit right over here. So there's level 0, as I'm calling it, then level 1, level 2, and then top rated seller. Let's say you want to learn more about what it is that you need to reach in order to get to the next level. You can just click on that learn more button right here, dive into that, and then Fiverr will actually walk you through each of these. So the first one is just called seller. It's going to explain to you what it is. So you're labeled as a new seller, and then these are the benefits of what you would actually get as a new seller. And then level 1 seller, these are also the benefits of what you would get. So for example, to go from seller to level 1 seller, these are the requirements that you need to hit. So you need to at least be 60 days as an active seller on Fiverr. You also need to complete 10 individual orders. Since you started on Fiverr, you have to earn at least $400 and then maintain a 4.7 star rating over the course of 60 days. Your response rate, your order completion, and then your on-time delivery all have to be 90%. Then lastly, you have to not have received any warnings over the course of 30 days. So these are the requirements for you to reach level 1 seller. Now, if you wanted to reach level 2 seller, then you'd scroll over here and you'd be able to see what are the requirements that you need to hit to get to level 2 seller. But either way, Fiverr makes this super user-friendly for you because it's going to continuously update this section right over here to show you what it is that you need to be hitting to get to the next level. So as you can see, I need to be getting to 50 orders and then $2,000, improving my order completion rate. So I'll be talking about what is actually affecting this towards the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. So if you were at this level per se, then it would be showing you what are the requirements that you need to hit to get to level 1. So this is what it looks like in terms of going from seller to level 1. Here are some of the top tips that I learned for when you're just starting out and you're wanting to go from seller to level 1 seller on Fiverr. And honestly, it was super trial and error at the beginning. The first thing that I learned was niching down does count on Fiverr. And the way that I learned this was pretty much by chance, because I was originally offering 2 gigs. So one was general life coaching, and the other one was the productivity coaching gig that you saw. What I realized instantly with the 2 gigs, productivity coaching gig was getting way more impressions, clicks, and conversions, whereas my general life coaching wasn't. And the reason why I believe so is because people had a really clear idea of what they would be getting out of my productivity coaching, but my life coaching seemed more so all over the place and wasn't really allowing me to become an expert in the gig that I was offering. It was also way more competitive because many more people were offering general life coaching and not as many coaches were offering productivity coaching. Another thing that I learned through Fiverr is that regular coaching that I was offering, I wasn't attracting the type of client that I actually wanted to work with and that I thought that I could actually help. So getting super specific as to what it is that you want to offer and the client that you want to work with is a great starting point. Do you have any testimonials from any clients that you've worked with in the past? Oh, I had several testimonials of clients that I've worked with in the past, so I actually included these on my profile. So if you have any family or friends that you've helped out and that would love to write you a review, so if you go into the gig that I have offered right now, you can see all the photos or videos that you can include. And so what I ended up doing is I included an actual screenshot of the testimonials that I got from my previous clients. And I believe that's what helped me get my initial first couple of clients before I had any reviews on Fiverr yet, along with pricing my gig very cheaply. So at the beginning, I priced my gig at $5. It was difficult to accept at the beginning because I knew I could offer more, but I knew that I had to get a couple of testimonials under my belt. I definitely recommend starting pretty low ticket at the beginning until you get a couple of reviews. But once you get your first couple of reviews, then I definitely recommend increasing your prices. I noticed a direct link with getting more clients as soon as I increase my prices. And when I put myself in their place, I completely understand this. If I was to pay $5 for a service, I would be expecting the bare minimum. I wouldn't expect it to be high quality whatsoever. And while it might be a no-brainer for most, if people are actually looking for help, then they're going to be expecting a certain quality of service. And so if you're able to price this a bit higher to match what it is that you're offering, that definitely did help me in attracting more clients. Oftentimes the clients that are paying $5 for your offer are not going to be longer term clients once you actually increase your prices. What I was really looking for is I wanted clients that would eventually become repeat customers and that would stay with me long term and that were willing to pay the price that I was pricing my service on Fiverr. Once you get your initial reviews, start pricing your offer with something that would make you feel like happy that you're providing that service and not feeling like you're consistently undervalued or undercharging, because at the end of the day, you're looking to make an extra source of income. You don't want to be miserable offering services. You don't have to be offering at that price, and you actually do have full control over. The next thing that I did that I thought was super, super helpful, and I was consistently doing this over time, was I was updating my description of my gig. So as you can see right here, this is my gig in the description, and I was consistently updating this to match what it is that clients were telling me they were struggling with in our sessions together, and what they were also reaching out to me saying that they needed help with. This was super helpful because if clients landed on my gig, they were able to instantly see if I was able to help them with whatever it is that they were struggling with. So if you're first creating your gig and you're feeling like, you know what, it's not attracting as many clients as you want it to be, then consistently be optimizing based off of what people are reaching out to you asking for, and make it so that it's a no-brainer for someone to opt in with you and buy your offer. When I joined Fiverr, I didn't want it to be this extra time commitment that I had to put in a lot of effort into in order to make money. I want to keep it as simple as possible. And one of the best ways that I've realized this is to limit the time that I'm actually answering a ton of questions on Fiverr. So at the beginning, I was consistently answering the same questions over and over again, and this was taking up more time than I expected it to on the platform. So the way that you can reduce this is to answer any of these questions within your actual description right over here. So this is going to make it so that people opt in with you so much quicker, because you're answering any of the doubts, hesitations, concerns that they have already within your description. And then also answering an FAQ section. So for example, I realized pretty early on that a lot of people didn't know what life coaching was and what it is that coaching can actually offer them. So I made sure that I was clarifying this from the beginning. I gave them an idea of what does a life and productivity coaching session look like, so that if they went to my FAQs, they were able to get that answer right away, and they didn't have to reach out to me in order for me to answer this and spend time answering this question. And at the end of the day, it removed as many barriers as possible, and they could just go on to purchase an order from me. So seeing what are the questions that you can answer in your FAQ section as you go along and connect with more and more customers is a great way to limit the time that you're spending on the platform. If you're like me and wanting it to be something that's more low commitment on your end but still making money for you, definitely seeing how you can address as many concerns and questions as you can from the get-go of when someone actually lands on your profile. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about is something that I actually learned pretty recently. It's that you can also get demoted every month. If you're a level 1 seller, it doesn't mean that the only way is up. If you don't meet the requirements every month to get to the next level and you actually end up hurting some of your requirements, this is going to cause you to get demoted. So I'm going to walk you through my analytics to give you a clear example as to what this would look like. It's telling you that the next evaluation period is going to be on April 15th. 2021. So if Fiverr sees that I haven't hit all the requirements for level 2, but I'm still hitting the minimum requirements of being level 1, then I'm going to stay at level 1. But if they notice that, for example, here, the minimum for level 1 is supposed to be a 90% completion rate, but at this moment in time, I have an 80% completion rate, which I'll explain to you why in just a second. If they notice that this is below 90% once it hits April 15th, then this will cause me to get demoted back to seller. The reason why my order completion rate was actually affected, and I think this is something super important to keep in mind because I didn't know this until pretty recently, is when you have cancellations of orders. So I had 2 cases within the past few months that I've been working on Fiverr where I had cancellations. One was where the buyer made a purchase and requested work that was outside of the scope, but the buyer and I didn't agree on the pricing that they wanted for the extra work that they were requesting. So this caused us to have a cancellation, which in turn affected my order completion rate because the order was made, but I didn't actually end up delivering that order because we ended up canceling it. So that was number 1. Number 2 order that ended up getting canceled on my end was an order where the buyer wasn't responding. So I ended up requesting that the buyer and I reach a mutual cancellation. This also caused my order completion rate to go down because since the buyer was no longer responding and I didn't deliver the order and the order ended up being canceled. Because of that, then now I'm below 90%. So the only way that I wouldn't get demoted in this case would be that I'm able to get in a couple more orders and complete them before April 15th. That would at least have me stay at level 1 and not get demoted. But at the end of the day, if you do get demoted, then you can always work toward get promoted again the next month as long as you maintain all these requirements. This is in terms of getting demoted. I think this is a super key thing to keep in mind. Some ways that I think you can potentially avoid this and that I will be also including in the future is to see how it is that you can decrease the chances of this happening for you. So For example, if someone makes a purchase of an order and at the end of the day you realize that you can't deliver what they're actually requiring of you, then you can prevent this by potentially having within your description box saying to contact you before making the order, making sure that before they order you verify that you can actually deliver on what it is that they're requesting of you. So that's one thing that can definitely help you out to decrease your order completion rate from getting affected. And then you can also once again clarify within your gig description or your FAQs questions that people might have or any common issues that you're consistently seeing so that you can prevent this once again from occurring. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a general idea of how you can go from seller to level 1 seller on Fiverr. If you're currently considering joining Fiverr and seeing what it is that you could potentially enjoy doing on the platform, or if you're just thinking of creating an extra source of income for yourself, I'll leave the link down below in the description box so you can go check out the website and see what it is that you could potentially offer. I'd love to hear your feedback down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a happy, healthy, and productive week.